Hey, Mr. Newstead, thanks for taking the time and talking to us.
Nice shirt, bro. Nice shirt.
Favorite band. Favorite band.
I see how you are.
I cannot help it. What are you currently up to, Mr. Newstead?
I am doing what I always do. I play music every day. I make pictures. I hang out with my dogs. I go in the water. I ride my bike. I love my wife. You know about that much.
Sounds like a nice life.
It's not so bad.
Well, obviously we have to talk about the 30th anniversary of the Black record, and so much has been written, so much has been said, so many myths are about the recording process and everything about this record, really. But when you look back now, 30 years after, do you like close out all the probably bad things that happened back then during the recording process and just go with the good things that remain for you? Or do you go like, no, it still was hard to do that one?
It was hard work, but I mostly remember good times anyway. I don't remember a whole lot of negativity myself. I really don't. The opportunity that we were given at that time, like everything that led up to that was pretty rapid type of recordings for me. Dogs demos, lots of demos, anything that we played, we revisited. It was always very quick. A couple days in the studio and we're done. So this is a whole new approach. They set us up for success in a big way, dude. So like taking the time to get the producer that could really make it sound like we sound live. Yeah, I think that was Bob's goal, that kind of thing. So I remember mostly good times anyway. And you think about when I was 28 years old, we had just kind of become multimillionaires, and we're in Southern California, and weed's growing high, and I'm having a good time. And we had our own ways of keeping our heads together to deal with each other, man. Like the 50th or 60th take of Nothing Else Matters in the same room together. After a while, the little test on your freaking metal, TTLE, test on your metal. But other than that, without us knowing it, dude, all that time we spent in that room facing each other and with the microscope on and really having to pay attention and be aware and have our agility and our under the microscope. That built us as a team to go out on this tour, and I don't think that we realized that until way later. Like we would have our little arguments, dude, how come you take it so long? Why do we have to wait for you? And these kind of things that happened in brotherhoods, in families, yes. But because we were able to withstand each other's shit, we made it possible for us to go and really crush when we went to 50 countries or whatever we did.
Great. Right? It's true. I saw you back then, obviously.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody had to see the tour. It was a given, right? It's kind of, when you before you got together in order to do this record, was your mind set upon this direction to go slower yet heavier, to go a little bit, I gotta put it like, more commercial, just to say it out flat, or did it just come up during the writing process?
There's so many elements at play here, dude. Think about it. There are really a lot of moving parts. Like all the work that those guys did on tour before I got into the band. The work that we did together between Justice and this album was like 3.5, 4 some years, and we were on the road most of the time, earning everyone's respect and building the foundation of the following. You know what I'm saying? That took a while, but all of that hard work set us up for this next big step. The managers and all the powers that be saw that opportunity, saw the rise of the popularity. Let's get a proper producer in here, okay, that has the ears. Okay, so let's talk about what's real here for a minute. We offered this guy, we invited him to come into our camp because of his pedigree, because of his abilities, right? Because of what he had already done. The weight he was able to get in other records, even if it's not your favorite band, Bon Jovi and Motley Crue is not my favorite bands, but it's still like Dr. Feelgood sounds killer, and it's got a bunch of great, sonically it's awesome, yeah. And so somebody that comes in like that, infiltrating, as it were. We invited it.
Yeah.
We still had to keep our guard up as the four of us, and he had to come in posturing as one person with Randy Staub as his assistant. But we had to. The planets had to collide a little bit before they aligned.
Yeah.
We had to earn each other's respect to become that team, to create that thing. Bob's goal was to capture us how he experienced us live, and he didn't feel that the weight had been captured yet. And he knows how to do it. A lot of cats can talk it. A lot of guys can say, "Oh, I turned this in the compressor and this and that." But if you really know about microphones and you really know about frequency science and all the shit that makes it sound like it does, right? He did, and he proved it to us. So he wasn't just talking. He showed us he could actually do it with the volume, with the sonics of it. Yeah. So I'm not sure how conscious of a thing it was where we're gonna say, "Oh, we're gonna all of a sudden not do such progressive stuff or super fast or anything like that."
Yeah.
That's the writing that was taking place after all of those years and all of that accelerated lifestyle of the 4 years between Injustice and the Black Album. You're going 100 mile an hour the whole damn time, right? You don't really. Then you're taking in so much world and so much life every day, way more than the average person.
Yeah.
So that you go through all of that, then you got all of this back out that's going to be the music, right? You put a bunch in, then you have to put a bunch out. So if James said we happen to be listening to more Caius, or we're listening to more Sabbath, or we're listening to more Corrosion, or we're listening to whatever happens to be with the heavy slabby shit, then that influences you as a player, right? Whatever you put in. So that's what came out. There was more. My take on it now that all the dust has settled a bit, we have a chance to look at it in our hindsight. I feel that we caged this giant thing that was just about out of control. How much farther and faster and longer of a song and stupidity can you actually do with all these stops and starts and silliness? Yeah? We took all of that power and dialed it back and then caged it, like compressed it, literally and figuratively, compressed it to make it go, have that weight, just waiting to bust out, right? We already knew that we had the fast and that's all in our quiver. We have all of that ability. We already proved we have all the ability. Now let's show we can do this weight too. So with Bob Rock to guide us on how to achieve that weight, right? That was the key. So these things kind of all fell in place. If you ask James and Lars about the songwriting thing, and they can tell you that we consciously put it down to 105 beats instead of 125, we want to do this and that, I doubt if that's the deal. I think that that was the feel that was happening, the weight and the thing, and Lars wanted to simplify that one big bass drum goes a lot farther than a whole bunch of them in this kind of music. Dropping the weight, the word is the weight of it. So that's, it just transpired as the people in power set us up for success. We were able to grab it by the neck.
Obviously you agreed to success, but did you agree on the music at first? All you guys in the band.
I loved Sad But True from the get-go, no matter what.
All right.
That no matter what anybody says, forever, and I just started really working a lot with multi-string, 5 and 6 string basses and stuff, and I was all about, being able to lay it down on the biggest string and get as fat as I possibly could with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being hurt, finally, I had 10 more times of, what do I need? Desire to be heard, be felt even. So that was kind of redemption, quite a bit of that for me. But as far as, I had no problem with coming back to the mid-tempo crushing as opposed to the fast stuff, because we still got plenty of stuff fast to play live, and that's live is all that mattered to me anyway, still. So we still had the repertoire to be able to do all that all the time. Battery, Fight Fire, and anything you wanted, along with the softer songs. The one catch, I think, that I would say here is that Nothing Else Matters was such a personal song for James. Some of them are quite personal. God That Failed and Some All Back Fade to Black all through time, very personal. But one of the best lyricists there's ever been in any style of music ever, this guy. You know that. He's amazing. song was so personal about him and his special person. So when I first heard it, it's like, are we sure that we want to share that with the world? Isn't that your song for your girl? And I've never